your ex is an avoidant, there's a very good chance that you're anxious. And there's a built-in issue whenever an anxious and an avoidant are dating. In many ways, they're total opposites. You want to connect, they want to be free. You want to plan a future, they don't. You want to talk about feelings, they don't. You need validation from them, but they don't need validation from you. So, how do you get them back? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And welcome back, my beautiful no contact army. If you haven't already, be sure to download my app Silencio to help you stay in no contact. We also have meditations on there and a space for your affirmations. And the link for that is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you too would like to join our no contact army, all you have to do is subscribe and hit the bell notification and you're in. And we also have a manual, yes. And you can read 2 free chapters at nocontactsecrets.com. And just very quickly, before we start, I've noticed that 65% of people who listen to me are not subscribed. That's a lot. So if I can ask you a little favor, that would be to subscribe if my videos have ever helped you in any way. And that way I can continue to make helpful videos that will help everybody to have a better chance at getting their ex back. Thank you. Okay, so to understand how to get an avoidant back, you need to first understand how they view feelings and intimate relationships. A trigger for an avoidant is emotional closeness. Remember years ago when I started a casual relationship with someone, and he said to me, well, what's going to happen if you start to develop feelings for me? And this was before I even knew I had an avoidant attachment style. And I just immediately responded, oh, well, I'll stop seeing you. So if you're anxious and you heard me say that just now, you probably gasped. Because for you, the thought of walking away for someone you have feelings for is foreign. But for an avoidant, well, that's just another Tuesday afternoon. I have feelings for you. Oh, I got to get out of here. And that's because as children, they learned that relying on someone for their emotional needs wasn't going to work, and they would eventually be disappointed. This is why avoidants are very independent. They never again want to feel that vulnerability that they experienced as a child. So you can't take it personally most of the time when they break up with you if the reason they're doing that is because they're triggered by their feelings for you. I mean, in a way, it's a compliment, actually. You're such a great partner that they started to develop feelings for you. So you're probably thinking, well, damn, so you're saying I can't be a good partner? Well, I think that you need to be an aware partner. And when you're aware of how an avoidant can be triggered, you'll make different choices in your words and in your actions. With avoidance, especially with dismissive avoidance, you have to keep them on their toes. They're super sensitive to the signs of someone being needy. In the book Attached, it says, and I quote, avoidants, it appears, are quick to think negatively about their partners, seeing them as needy and dependent. They seemingly despise others for being needy, end quote. I don't know why the author of this book felt the need to use the words appears and seemingly, because I can tell you with 100% certainty, we don't appear to quickly think negatively about partners. We do. And we don't seemingly despise others for being needy. We do hate weakness in others and in ourselves. Weakness makes us cringe. We get the ick. We get the ew. So the first thing to keep in mind when trying to get back an avoidant is to not appear weak or needy. That is not going to help you. And some people are going to say, well, why would you want to get an avoidant ex back? And there are many more people, however, saying that they do want their avoidant ex back. So that means that you're going to have to change the way you deal with them. And if you don't want to change the way you deal with them, then I would suggest you move on and find someone with either a secure attachment style or someone who's anxious like you. Or you can always work on yourself and become a secure partner yourself. And yes, I know that's easy for me to say, but this is why I always recommend that if you have an anxious attachment style, read the books Attached and Anxiously Attached, and I'll put the links in the notes below the video. Now, you may say, well, why can't the avoidant work to become more secure? Well, they're not the one trying to get their ex back. They're not the one listening to this. You are. You can certainly suggest it to them if they say they want to get back together, but don't be surprised if they don't want to go. Many avoidants see avoidant attachment as a superpower. And why would they want to give up their superpower? Would you? Something else to keep in mind with an avoidant is that you have to have boundaries. If you're anxious, however, that is going to be difficult for you to do. You don't want to have boundaries. You just want to chase after your ex. Hopefully, you'll keep in mind what I just told you about how avoidants hate neediness and weakness. If you want to push your avoidant ex even further, just keep contacting them, trying to change their mind. They'll become even more avoidant and want to get away from you even more. So as usual, silence, no contact is the answer with getting an ex back, but especially with getting an avoidant ex back. They're usually the dumpers, so they're used to the people that they dumped chasing after them. And as soon as you don't do that, you have their attention. If you go into no contact and stay there, eventually they will wonder if they judged you too quickly. They already know that they tend to leave people sooner rather than later. And maybe this time they made their decision in haste. Maybe they were too quick to pull the plug. There were times when I second-guessed myself after I'd broken up with someone. But that only happened if the person was silent and didn't try to talk me out of it. But if they bugged me and wouldn't leave me alone, I knew I'd made the right decision. So you want to remove any pressure and neediness by leaving them alone so they can start to feel safe again. Remember, they once loved you, and sometimes they still do, but they don't want to deal with your feelings or their feelings or feeling pressured because of your neediness or what they perceive to be your neediness. And they also want to be able to trust you. Trust is huge for avoidance. So if you somehow betrayed their trust, when they do reach out, you need to ask them how you can gain their trust again and what you can do to make up for what you did. And this will go a long way towards getting an avoidant to trust you again. So they'll need time to assess the situation, and they're going to do it on their timeline, not yours. Trying to speed it up by trying to push them in any way is only going to slow things down. That's why doing no contact is especially important if your ex is avoidant. Hanging around and trying to talk them out of it is not going to work. As an avoidant, I can tell you, it is not going to work. They need their space in order to feel safe and independent. And when you give it to them, you have a very good chance of hearing from them and eventually getting back together. Okay, so now I'm going to hear from you. Was your ex an avoidant, and how long have you been in no contact? And if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net/coaching, and we will send you the rates. They are not on the website, and the direct link to that is below every single video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast and want to help the show, just download it. And finally, remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.